Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to explain what you mean by computer and what are all the major parts or the important parts of a computer. Okay. So in a simple way. So this is not like anything to this like an engineering student or some particular student. No. So this is for especially for the any student. Any student who wants to learn what is computer and what are the essential parts of a computer. For that, I'm going to explain the very basics of computer. In simple way, a computer is an electronic device which accepts the input, processes the data and produces the output. Okay, that means now this computer takes some data, do some operation on that data and produces the data in the form of output. So thus a computer takes the data in the form of input and do some action on that. That what we process the data and produces the data in the form of output. See, the input devices, generally these are the input devices what we use. The keyboard, there's a major the input device, the mouse, camera, scanners, joystick, touch screen. So these are the some of the input devices what we are using in general. Okay, so similarly the output devices, okay, generally the devices which we use as an output devices are monitor, which is also called a screen. That means what is the screen we are using in the computer. Okay, so that is called the monitor. The printers, speakers, headphones, that is what you have earphones, that okay, the projectors. These are the some of the generally used output devices. So now we know what is computer and which are the input devices, which are the output devices we know. Now let us go in deeper which this one. Okay, now I said a computer is an electronic device which accepts. Accept means it receives some data. It receives the data from whom? We the user. So that means generally we the user, what we will give some type that on the keyboard will type something. That is the data what we are giving as an input to the computer. Okay. Now we are giving the data that is in actually what? This is in the analog format. Analog. What do you mean by analog? This is the information. See, I'm speaking the continuous. Okay, we are typing. So all these are analog. But our computer is an electronic device which can understand only 0 and 1. It doesn't know anything else. But we, human beings, we know so many languages. We know English, Hindi, our mother tongue, Kannada, Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam. Like that, we know so many languages. But our computer knows only one thing, that is what the binary language. That means it knows only 0 and 1. Other than these two, it doesn't know anything. Okay, it knows only two values. Again, I'm telling it, computer can understand only 0 and 1. That means it can identify only 0 and 1. Other than that, it doesn't know anything. So, but what we are typing on the keyboard, we are typing some numbers, we are typing some alphabets, we are typing some special characters. Okay, like star, comma, full stop. We know that when to use full stop, when to use comma, when to use hyphen. So all these things we know. But we know plus, minus, so many symbols. But computer doesn't understand all those things. So what we need to do, whatever the input we given in the form of analog, that we need to convert into what? Digital. Okay, so that we need to give us a digital. We need to convert. In order to convert the analog into digital, we need to use one converter called analog to digital converter. Okay, analog to digital converter. This is one circuit. Okay, this is one circuit. The hardware, it will convert the analog input what we enter that into the digital. Once the digital input is ready, that digital input we need to give to whom? To the computer. To the computer we need to give as an input. Okay, so now this is my computer. Now in the computer, who is going to do some actions on the data, that means process the data. So now the person who is going to do that is what? CPU, Central Processing Unit. Okay, so CPU is responsible for doing every action. Whatever we are doing the operation on the computer, everything will be done by the CPU. Okay, whether we are minimizing the screen, we are maximizing the screen, closing, opening any file or any document, whatever we are doing, everything will be done by whom? CPU. Now CPU takes this digital data as an input and do some action on that. That means do some processing, okay, do some operations on the input data, and then it produces the same what output in the form of digital. Why it will give the output in the form digital? Because it know only 0 and 1. So what if it wants to do any operation, the data should be in digital. That's why we are converting analog to digital. Once the data is in the digital, then our CPU can identify and it can do some operations on the digital data. So once it does the data and it gives us a output in the form of digital. But digital, we human being don't understand. So what we need to do, whatever the digital we are giving, that again need to convert into analog. Okay, this is for the user. See, here we converted analog to digital for the computer, for the CPU purpose. Now processor gives the output in the form of digital. That is not understood. Suppose that if it gives the output in the form of zeros and ones, we human being, we won't understand anything. So again, that digital has to get converted into analog. Okay, for that again you are using one. So one more circuit, that is what? Analog to digital converter. Analog to digital converter. Again, these two are what? These two are circuits. We call this as an ADC. In electronics term, we will call ADC, that is analog to digital converter. We will call this as an, okay, this is what, sorry, this is not analog to digital, this is digital to analog. Okay, this is digital to analog. So these are called DAC, digital to analog converter. Okay. Now let us see how to convert the data entered by the user, that is analog, into digital. How to convert. So now whatever the character, that keys we are seeing on the keyboard, so each and every character is having one ASCII value, that is American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Okay, ASCII code. Okay, there is one code called ASCII code for every character. For every character, again, whatever, it may be from A to Z, the characters may be capital A to Z or A small lowercase characters A to Z, digits from 0 to 9, or some special characters like plus, into, minus, underscore, okay, full stop, comma, okay, for everything, for every character, even for a space also, for whatever we see the keys on the keyboard, every key is having one value called ASCII code. Okay, for example, capital A is having a code 65. Similarly, capital B 66, like that. Z is having 90. Similarly, small a code is what? 97, small b is 98, and small z is 122. Okay, similarly 0 is 48, 0, 48, 1, 49, like this, last digit is 9, this is 57. Okay, so these are the character. See, when we type A, actually when I type A, so this is for us, for the user, we know A. Okay, but this A value is what? 65, capital A 65. This will be converted into binary. Okay, binary. So binary conversion, okay, how to do? This is simple. 65, this is the number. Keep dividing by 2, okay, until the number becomes 1 or 0. Okay, 1. No, 2 32s are 64, remainder is 1. 2 16s are 32, remainder is 0. 2 8s are 16, remainder is 0. See, the numbers keeps, whenever it becomes 1, we stop dividing. Till that, we have to keep dividing. Okay, 2 4s are 8, remainder 0. 2 2s are 4, remainder is 0. 2 1s are 2, remainder is 0. Now, this is my. Now, from this, you write this value. Okay, now 65 is what? Now, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. Okay, since I have to make 8 bits, so I am making one more bit here, 8. Now, this is my what? A. Actually, we type capital A. but it will get converted into what? This 0, 1, 0. Now, when, see, this is for us user. For the same thing will be seen by the processor like this. So this is what the brain, like this, whatever the characters we type on the keyboard, everything will be converted into digital. This is what analog to digital. This will be done by one circuit. Okay. Similarly, when again digital, this again we need to convert back to analog at the output stage. Okay. So thus what we can say. So now we know that what our computer. Okay. Now this computer, we need to pass some input using some input devices. We need to pass some input. Then our processor, now our system means mainly it is having CPU, that is what? Central processing unit. This central processing unit, so what it contains, majorly our CPU contains ALU, that is arithmetic logical unit, and it is having one more circuit called CU, control unit, and some registers. Okay, these are what the CPU consists of. Again, this is an hardware circuits. ALU, arithmetic logical unit, control unit, and some registers. And then it is having one more major part, what? Memory. Because whenever we are given some input, it has to receive. It has to save something. It has to store somewhere. So for to storage purpose, we are using memory. Again, this memory is having, again, mainly it is of two types. Okay, one is main memory, also called as primary memory, and another one is what? Secondary memory. Your secondary memory means whatever you are connecting externally into your computer, like what your pen drives or memory cards, hard disk, CD, DVD, all comes under what? Secondary memory. So whichever you are connecting your computer externally, like pen drive, okay, connecting pen drives. So like CDs, DVDs, okay, all those which you are connecting externally, they are the secondary memory. And inbuilt we are having main memory. Okay, so these are the storage purpose we are using. So once it will does, then it produces, now our processor, CPU will act on this input and produces the what? Output. Okay, so through some output devices. So any computer should have major essential, which are the essential parts of a computer? Input device, output device, CPU, that is processor, and then memory. So these are the major parts of any of the computer. Any computing machine which is having all these four: input device, one output device, CPU, memory, we can say that computing machine as a computer. Hope you people understood the basics of computer. Thank you.